I had high hopes for the Mill River here today. Here we are, the Pequonnock River. We got one, guys. We got a fish. All right, got another one. Oh, this feels like a bigger fish. What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut Angler. I am here today on Mill River in New Haven County, Connecticut. And, you know, I got the morning kicked off without recording an intro because my hope was that I would be able to record my intro after I caught a fish. And unfortunately, the last 45 minutes to an hour that I've spent on this relatively short section of stream has yielded nothing as yet. But I have gotten up here to an area where we have some fairly deep pools, so I'm thinking that I'm going to take off the nymph that I have been using in the shallower stuff here, put on some heavy streamers, and see if there's anything maybe holding close to the bottom here that's interested in gulping up a woolly bugger. Let's give it a try. Alright, guys, I've got a woolly bugger tied on here, black with a brown tail. I'll tell you what, I would love it if this wind would just go away. It is just blowing non-stop, and it is making fly casting uniquely challenging. All right, we're just kind of flipping it out there, and really just kind of, you know, I have no visual on any fish in this pool. I don't necessarily know what I might expect. Maybe nothing, but certainly one of the quickest ways to try to determine what's out there is to just put a streamer right down to the bottom, jig it a little bit. And the funny thing is that, you know, on account of not being able to cast too well with this wind blowing in my face, and the fact that this pool has so little current, it's almost kind of like I'm still water fishing here. I have to say, this sort of close quarters, almost still water sort of fishing is not what I thought I was going to be doing when I left the house today. Although I have fished this area once before, I guess I just didn't recall exactly how deep and still this water was, and we're snagged. Grand. And I would wager that we're not getting that fly back. There it goes. Oh, lots of muck over here. Oh, God. Should have just walked around. Alright, guys, well, I had high hopes for the Mill River here today, and as fate would have it, nothing seems to be happening here. Now, I can't say that that's necessarily not my fault. Maybe I'm not throwing what they want to see. Maybe I'm not throwing it well enough. I'm not going to pretend like that's not a possibility. But at any rate, it doesn't seem like I'm going to coax anything out of the water here. So I'm actually going to cut my losses, and we're going to head on down to a different river entirely. One that you have seen very recently on the channel. Now, I have about half-hour drive ahead of me, but for you guys, I'm gonna be there right about now. Here we are, the Pequonnock River. Well, that's right, guys. So, the last video you saw, which I released toward the end of February, I was on the Pequonnock, chucking streamers, managed to nab 3 tiger trout. That experience was so incredible that I was extremely excited after that to come back to the Pequonnock the next week and see if I couldn't fish a different section and have similarly incredible luck. Unfortunately, what followed right after I had that session where I caught all those tigers was that the temperatures plunged and this river damn near froze over. Certainly all the large pools froze up completely. There was only tiny little seams that were left where you could cast. I ended up coming out here and doing more hiking than anything else. I mean, I did try, but it was just virtually impossible to really fish. So we're now separated from the triple tiger outing by about a month. We finally had a stretch of decent temperatures here. This river has thawed out completely. The water level has certainly risen a little bit just from all the snow melt, but all of the water is open. Nothing is covered over with ice. I'm excited to see what we can find today. Now, I'm starting out with nymphs because I was pretty much just going solid streamers as soon as I hit the first pool in my last video. And I want to see what I can do with nymphs. I have a feeling that I caught so many tigers that day, not because there were only tiger trout here, but because only the tiger trout were really feeling aggressive enough and piscivorous enough to go after those streamers. It would not surprise me if I pulled those streamers across the noses of a couple browns or rainbows that just weren't really feeling it. So I'm going to see if maybe taking a slightly more subtle approach this time, at least in the beginning, might yield something that I missed last time. Alright guys, this was a pool that I actually ended up walking into accidentally the last time I was here. And I didn't get a chance to see if there's a fish in here before I would have spooked them. So it's cool that I get to come back and try it again now. You know guys, I'm not 100% certain, but I think this may have been where I caught that last tiger trout in my previous video. Oh yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if anything is hanging out here now. Conditions have changed, like I said, pretty dramatically since the last time I was here. Much higher flows. We had a drowned indicator there. Nothing when I set the hook though. got one, guys. We got a fish. All right. All right. Looks like it's got some decent size to it. What do we have here? Ooh, we have to go downriver for it. Oh boy. Oh no, it looks like I might have foul hooked him. No, he was just tangled up in my line. The rainbow. All right. Not bad, guys, not bad. Well, I am certainly happy that I made the decision to skip back over here to the Pequonnock. Beautiful little rainbow. First rainbow I've ever caught in the Pequonnock, for that matter. The last time I was here, it was nothing but 3 tigers and a brown, and we finally have ourselves a rainbow. Awesome. You can see he ate up that little flashback pheasant tail. Nice colors in this fish. All right, well, let's get him back in the water and continue out here on the Pequonnock, guys. I am excited to see what we can do. All right, guys, off to a pretty damn good start. I've scarcely been in the water more than 10 minutes and already have myself a trout, and it looks like at least that fish was pretty interested in that little size 16 flashback pheasant tail. So I'm gonna stick with that for now and see what we could do. Let's keep on moving and see what else we can find today. Well, the interesting question here, guys, is going to be, will we get more than one fish out of this run? Anyhow, like I mentioned, guys, I am using a flashback pheasant tail. Not exactly the most realistic version of a pheasant tail, but one that can work pretty well in sunny conditions like this. You know, the fish will see those little glints off the flashback that may just end up serving as the trigger for them kind of noticing my offering over everything else that is getting dislodged and carried down in the river. I'm not going to spend too much more time in this spot, because I have a lot of other water I want to cover, and needless to say, I didn't get my start here early since I began my day at Mill River. So I don't have as much time as I might have. Oh, got one, guys. Got one. Nice fish. Nice fish. Nice fish. Got some fight to him for certain. Oh, I lost him. Damn it. Oh, I lost him. Rough. Rough. That was definitely a nicer fish than the last one. Okay, well, let's get it right back out there. Maybe they're stacked up in this pool. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, it does kind of suck that I lost that fish, but just in general, the fact that I hooked up with a second fish out of this pool is making me pretty confident about my choice of a flashback pheasant tail under these particular conditions in this time of year. That you might be able to get one fish to take a certain fly, and that could be pure luck. 2 almost in a row, much less likely. I should mention, by the way, that this river has not been stocked since autumn. So although almost everything I'm going to be catching is most likely a stocked fish. Got him. Got a fish. Almost everything I'm catching here is a stocked fish, almost undoubtedly, guys, but they're not freshly stocked. They've been in the river now for 4 or 5 months. What do we have here? Another rainbow? Another rainbow. Okay. That's awesome. Oh, let's actually get him in, though. Boy, this fish does not want to give up. Oh, this is a brown? It's a brown. Boy, I thought it was a rainbow the way the glare was hitting it. But no, it is a brown. 3rd fish that we've hooked up with out of this pool here, all in a pretty short amount of time. All right, guys, we have already hooked 3 fish landed 2 of them. So far we've crossed a bow and a brown off the list. It's gonna be cool to see if I can actually manage a trifecta today. But there's only one way to find out, and that is by getting my line back in the water. And I am really pretty excited and getting amped up about the fact that I've already hooked up with 3 fish in such a short amount of time. So I'm very excited to keep this going. And again, I'm working this very same pool where I caught that first fish. So let's see if there's anything else here just waiting to be caught. We got another one, guys. Another fish. Another fish. Good Lord. The 4th fish out of this pool. Is this another bow? I can't tell. Another bow. All right. Wow, look at that, guys. Just look at that. Look at the patterning on this rainbow. This is really a very beautiful rainbow. The spots go almost around the entire fish. Really cool looking fish here. Guys, this is just crazy. They really are stacked up in this pool right now. Got another one, guys. Oh, this feels like a bigger fish. Oh my gosh, it's a much bigger fish. Oh my God. Much bigger fish, guys. Much bigger fish. What is this? Wow, much bigger fish. Whoa. I mean, it's not a monster, but it's definitely much larger than the fish I got to this point. Another rainbow. He's thrashing around so crazy because he's got himself tangled up in my leader. It's actually lodged right in his mouth. He's not foul hooked. Yeah, much nicer rainbow than the others. Look at that. He's already kicked my nymph here. All right, let's get him right back in the water so somebody else can catch him. Wow, guys, this is just incredible. You know, a lot of times you hear about those instances where you'll be fishing in the wintertime and you'll just find this very special area where it just happens to be that a lot of fish have stacked up, and this is one of those areas. I have stumbled upon one. You know, it doesn't always work out like that. You don't always find spots like this, but when you do, it is a gold mine. And so far this is definitely proving to be a spot like that. I've caught all of these fish within the same 20 feet of water so far, and there's still even a little bit of water up ahead what I've fished thus far that I can hit. Invariably, this streak must come to an end, but the question is, how many more are going to come out of here? I mean, honestly, even if I don't get any more out of here, I'm very happy with what I've gotten out of this little stretch of water. But looks like there's a smaller pocket up here. I don't know how deep this is. Probably not as deep as the last pool I was at, but definitely I'm gonna give it a shot here. Challenging line management here. Tough getting a good drift. But if I can get a good drift, this spot may very well yield a fish. Actually, real quick, I took about 8 inches back out of my depth here. Is that a fish? Either that's a nice sized fish or it's a log. I'm leaning towards log, but if I don't at least try, the shadow that I'm seeing over here is going to haunt my dreams. All right, guys, so as I mentioned, you know, my goal today, I mean, obviously in addition to catching fish, is to do my damnedest to try to hit parts of this stream which I wasn't able to get to before the close my last successful outing here on the Pequonnock. This is a slightly more wooded area in the Pequonnock, and my goal is to get up in there and see what we could do with the last hour or so that I have to spare. So I'm hiking by a lot of, honestly, what could be fairly productive water. Whoa! And risking my neck to talk to you guys. No, yeah, I'm hiking by what could be very productive water. Honestly, it's hard to hike by it, but I've also already fished this water before, and I'd really like to fish the area up here, which is about where I left off the last time that I was on the Pequonnock. And so that's why I'm kind of just jumping ahead here. Check it out, guys. The skunk cabbage is starting to come up. Crazy thing about skunk cabbage is that it will actually generate heat right around this time, around February or so, and actually begin to melt its way through the snow, so it can get the earliest opportunity to attract pollinating insects. It beats out pretty much everything else in the New England landscape. Alright guys, well, I've gone quite a ways now, and I'll tell you what, after that awesome pool where I got all those fish, I have not since seen a single sign of life. Despite water that looks great, I mean, it looks really fantastic out here, it just doesn't seem to be anything. Or at least nothing that's been clamping down in the streamer. I think I'm gonna move back to the nymph, see what I could do with that with my last 20 minutes or so here on the river, and then we're gonna have to pack it in. But before I continue, I just want to point out how amazing this feels right now. I mean, this is late February, guys. Spring is only what, like 2 weeks away, 2 weeks or so. It's a little over 40 degrees right now. I mean, look, we still got some winter left. We still got some cold weather left. We probably still got some snow left. But I'll tell you what, it's starting to feel just a little bit like spring. Well guys, I'd say that just about does it. In order to get on with the rest of my day on time, I'm gonna need to pretty much pack it in, starting right now, hike back to my truck. So where does that leave us, guys? Well, relaxing and enjoying spring-like weather on a bench here in the beautiful Pequonnock River Valley. But in terms of our catch, that leaves me at what, 3 rainbows and a brown, all within what, 15 minutes of each other, if that, 10 minutes of each other maybe. And otherwise, nothing at Mill River, nothing as we've continued our way upstream here on the Pequonnock. That's just the way it goes sometimes, guys. I mean, look, did I think I was going to catch some fish out of some of these beautiful woodland pools here as I continue moving upstream? Yeah, I really did. I'm actually very surprised that I wasn't able to find anything up here, but it is what it is. Maybe I wasn't throwing the right streamer. Maybe I was throwing a streamer when I should have been throwing nymphs. Maybe I was throwing nymphs when I should have been throwing a streamer. Or maybe my technique is just horrible. Whatever the case may be, this is where we finish, guys. I'm about to head way up that gorge wall there and take the trail back on down to my truck. But I guess, until next time, guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you like what I'm doing out here, subscribe. And I will catch you guys in March.